Hey fam, welcome to another episode of Good, Bad, and Ugly about real estate. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you had a rental and the FBI comes knocking on your door? Have you ever wondered how you would handle that situation? Have you ever decided what it would take for you to get into real estate? Well, I got a great guest for you today. She's going to share her story and how she handled just that type of situation. So help me welcome to the stage my friend Ali.
Hey, hi Jose, how are you?
Ah, my darn it. Let's do that. Yay!
God, I was wondering where all my fans were.
Yeah, technical difficulties, and it didn't help that somebody decided they wanted to call in as I'm trying to hit my button. So uh, that's what happens when you're a one man show, right? You just gotta kind of go with the flow and keep it moving.
Totally, 100%.
So I'm glad you were able to get on with us today. And as I mentioned, I'd love for you to share your story. How you got into real estate, and what are you doing today?
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you having me on here, Jose. And it's always good to sit down and chit chat with another investor. I love doing that. Um, so I guess first question you asked, what got me into real estate? Um, like 15 years ago, I guess, or so. My job I had was I knew was going away. And so I wanted to set us up and have some rental properties to, to offset some of the loss of income while I figured out what I was going to do with the next stage of my
Chapter.
life. Yeah. So I kind of was looking around and I really liked the idea of real estate for rentals for, as I said, but then also I was like, I see people doing fix and flips. I felt like I could do that. I felt like they're not that difficult. And then the buy, um, buy, rehab, rent, and refinance. Then that method, I thought that was also possible too. And I
Sure.
did a few of those things at the time, and they worked. They didn't work. They worked, but you know, not as well as I thought. And I just sort of I still see the value in things. I'm just looking for the right thing that I think is really the best. Those rentals that worked for some time, they wound up being. I sold them when they got to be problematic. Where now I probably should have kept them and just put somebody else in charge. It's part of that being part of a community. You learn of the better options that you could have had. Um, So I'm kind of back, not where I started, because I feel like I have a much more information, but um, I'm back just getting back into things, trying to do some things. And
Sure.
so, yeah, so here at this point, I'm working on a couple not a couple, I'm looking to find a fix and flip in my area um, that I could oversee, nearby. And I'm starting looking into lending, which is transactional lending. I know that you know what it is, but in case somebody's listening doesn't know, that's when the money never really leaves the title company, and we lend, and then the borrower is able to make their transaction. They pay us back, and our money was never left the title company. So it's a safer lend. Rather
Absolutely.
than on fix and flips and things. So that's kind of where I'm focusing now. Um, and us being part of the same group, that's it's just a different learning curve. And now I need to get myself in front of different people where those other those other avenues were more of you find the property and then you go get the money. You know what I mean? Now
Yeah.
I'm bringing a service to somebody, so it's a little bit of a different reach. But it's good. It's fun, and I think that I'm learning a lot about everything, mostly people, but myself too, which is, I think,
Right.
always a good thing.
Absolutely. People that are watching this, they could be different levels of experience. One of the questions I like to ask my guests is, you know, I'm assuming you didn't come from a family of realtors or that were, buying real estate as a job. So how did you figure out how to buy your first rental, or how did you determine to finance your first fix and flip?
Oh, okay. So I had some money, and I found I live in New Jersey, and there was a guy that was kind of local. New Jersey's not a giant state, but he lived like an hour north of me, and he would have meetups, and this was like in 2010, and so like it was quite a while ago, and he had this. He was teaching people how to do that burr strategy, um, and so he helped me, and he he actually he actually wholesale deal to me that I bought with hard money and my down payment, and I also had the rehab money was part of that loan,
Right.
and then we fixed it up. I not we I me and the contractor, not me even the contractor, but the guy who helped me really just sort of guided me through the purchase process, uh, and getting the loan. He helped me with that, and he did help me find the contractor. But then after that, I didn't much do it. But that's how I got started. That's how I did my own research, and I was like, that burr thing sounds good to me. Let me try that, and that's where I found that guy to help me. So he
Awesome.
was a local. He was a local
Guru, for
investor
lack
that
of better
was
terms.
helping people. Yeah, yeah, right.
Awesome. So, you went from rentals. You said that didn't work for you, and then you went to fix flips, and now you're doing lending. Which do you find to be easier now that you have a little bit more experience?
Well, I would say when I was doing film clips, it felt much easier to find deals. So I don't know if it just has become more competitive, which is I think is true. Um, Prices are higher, so I'm reluctant to pay higher prices. That's part of it. Um, and so now I'm sort of pivoting into this lending thing, and
Sure,
um, it's hard. I don't know. It's harder. It's harder in a way. It's easier in a way, right? Like I don't really need the money. I don't really need to have money right now
sure,
to get this to have this work, but I need to reach out and find somebody that needs my help.
sure,
Whereas if you're looking for a property, you just have to go find a property, and you find somebody to help you find the property. So it's a little bit it's a little bit backwards. It's definitely backwards from that, but it's a little more difficult for somebody like me, um, to do that to have this business working seamlessly, which we're working on, but it's taken me some time. So for because I haven't mastered it, I'm gonna have to say that the lending part has been a problem for me. It's a little bit a different work. It's a different work cycle or something.
Well, like you said, you and I are both in that same industry of lending, right? And
Mhm.
like you, it's everyone says, "Oh, everybody needs money. Everybody needs money." But then when you go looking for people, there's so many people, so many options for people to get money from that you got to kind of stand out from the crowd to get people to want to work with you, right? I
Yeah.
do a lot of networking, going to meetups and real estate investment groups, and even doing all of that, I get a very small percentage of people that reach
Mhm.
out looking for
Mhm.
money to get into deals.
Right.
And even when they do, it's like, oh well, you know, I have somebody else that does this, or um, I don't think I'm in a position to do that. And I'm like, you're getting in for basically $0 out of your pocket. So I'm not sure how you can't not afford it, but To each his own. So I totally understand where you're coming from when you say it's kind of harder being a lender than it is, finding a property to fix up. So because I've been on
Ask
that
me
side
in,
too.
ask me in 2 minutes, and I'm going to tell you it's much easier to be a lender. I just need to get my processes under control. That's
Sure,
it's more new to me now, so it is harder. It just is.
I get it. I led this episode with kind of a hook for people to stay to this point so they can hear from you. I'd
Mm.
love for you to share the story of your rental when you had the FBI come knocking on your door.
The fix it, that was it. Yeah, I would love to. It was actually a fix and flip, but yes, I would love to. So okay, so this was when I was doing the I was do burr thing again. So
Sure.
I found the property, I got the money, I got the rehabber, and we went into the got going on the process. It was a duplex in Newark, New Jersey, which was like about an hour from me. Um, Not a great neighborhood, but it was okay. It was, it was good. It was a good deal. Penciled out everything. So we bought it and we fixed it up. It was like I said, it was 2 units, so it was brand new, um, brand new kitchen and a brand new bathroom, right on top of each other, upstairs and downstairs, and it looked great. We did all brand new windows. We did all brand new floors. Sheet some new lighting in the kitchen. The place looked really good, and I had a buyer that wanted it. So we had a few more things that were left to do, and my contractor had to go was away for a week, and so we were going to take care of those things when he got back. My next door neighbor at the house called me. He happened to have my phone number. We became friendly over the time that we were there. And my neighbor called me and he said, "Hey, something looks weird about your upstairs kitchen window. Something's weird up there. You should come and check it out." So I quickly up there, and somebody had broken into the place and turned on all the water on the uh, kitchen sink, the brand new kitchen sink, and they stopped it up. And the same thing with the bathroom, um, with the tubs in the bathroom, and they just turned on the water. As I said, my contractor was away, so this went undetected for days. Um, and so the water must have been coming out. It was overflowing the kitchen sink and going down the window, so it was leaking outside. That's what my neighbor saw. So anyway, so we turned off the water, and there was like a couple inches of water in the basement because
Oh
it
my
had
God.
been so long. And the water just, we walked in, you just heard it was like a shower was on. It was unbelievable. And I don't, we were like, why did somebody do this? Like, what would have compelled someone to do this? We were friendly with the people in the neighborhood. It was just out of left field. So, my contractor, as I said, again, he was away. So I had this other guy that was able to, that I found from a friend, that came in and helped me ripped out all the soaking wet sheetrock, replaced things where they needed to be replaced, more cabinets, did whatever he had to do with about 8 days or something,
Sure.
and he fixed it, and we put it all back together, and we are proceeding with our sale. Um, and so in Newark, New Jersey, it's kind of a urban, not a great. It's okay now, but uh, this was like in 2017 or so. It was not great. But anyway, they have these thick steel windows and doors that go right on top of your project window or your project door. So you need a key to get into the place. Otherwise you can't get in. So on all the level doors and windows, you put these thick metal screens because we had just got vandalized. We don't know who it was, so that's why we put those things on, and we're continuing to move through the sale. The guy okay as long as it was put back to the way he saw it when he committed to buying it. He was okay. So then we keep, as I said, we keep going, and I don't know. Another couple days later, somebody tried to break into one of these steel screens, and you can't. It's impossible. Like they're steel, and they're like indestructible. It's like a tank that goes on top of your window. Anyway,
Sure.
they were not able to. They damaged the siding on the house trying to get it. When they got frustrated enough, they were able to, get open a couple inches or so, stuck, and then your window is open. They threw things in and started a fire in the property. So the fire, they started a fire, and so then some neighbors saw the fire smoking, and then they called the fire department, and the fire department comes in, and I mean, they have tools that regular people don't have, and they damaged that screen terribly, but they were able to get into the house and put the fire out, which was only on the downstairs, but it did go up the outside of the window, so the siding got damaged. It was unbelievable. So I now was like, I couldn't believe that this happened. And the police, they came the first time to take a report, and then they assumed that I somehow I had a bad relationship with a different contractor, and they did it. Like, that's what they assumed that it was.
Sure.
So they were not very helpful. They did give me a police report for the insurance company, but that wasn't that helpful. But I mean, it was. Now I had another report, and they really didn't believe me this time. They were like, how does somebody put water in and a fire? Like, they were just not hearing my story.
Sure.
But we fixed it up again, and the guy again was okay as long as the buyer was okay as long as we got the house back, and he came back, inspected, and it was okay. So we had maybe 2 more weeks till the close was up to occur, and I got a phone call from the FBI, and the guy was like, "Hi, my name is so and so with the Auto Theft Task Force, and we have reason to believe that your property, this was at 283 Leslie Street in Newark, is being used as a not a chop shop, but a holding place for stolen cars. It was this house was right near the highway, and they would steal a car in the higher neighborhood, and they would drive it here, and they put it in the garage. There was a 2-car garage. I don't know if I told you that, and it was spick and span. There was nothing in it, just completely empty. I never even looked in there after the first initial time I saw it. So anyway, these thieves were doing that with my garage. They were using my garage to put their cars, and that's who we are now. We now blame these criminals for having done the damage to the property both those times. So they asked me, what they wanted was to set up a camera in my upstairs window, which I said, please, I would love that if you would do that. But as I was selling it in 2 weeks, it wasn't helpful. So they didn't wind up doing it because it was only going to be, they wanted to set up like a long-term kind of sting type of a thing.
Sure.
But so I wasn't able to help them. But yeah, that's what it was. It was some car thieves who had done that to my house. That cured me of my fix and flips in Newark. That was the end for me. And I think I probably lost 5 years of my life there, just with just the stress of that couple of weeks. But we didn't make any money. But I think it could have been much worse. we made a little
Sure.
bit of money after the insurance covered everything, but that takes time, and you know, it was really stressful. I was sort of on a shoestring budget at that time. Um, yeah, but yeah, so yeah, that did happen. That did happen.
Well, thanks for sharing that crazy story with us. You know, I've talked to you before, and I know you have a good story that counters that. So, can you share that with us?
Yeah, sure. I have a couple, but I guess you know, the ones that are good are ones that I've reached out to people for. You know, like I've had some fix and flips that work. They were like, "Here's a house, just buy it." But the ones that really do help a person, um, you know what I'm thinking about now. This one that we did, um, but there was this house that's nearby in a town nearby me. That's kind of what I usually look at, things that are nearby me. And I looked on the county foreclosure list, and I reached out to the person who's nearby, and I said, and I looked the person up on True People Search, and unbelievably, the phone worked. It was her. She picked up the phone, and I said, "Hi, you know, I saw, you know, the regular spiel that you give somebody in the pre-foreclosure situation," and uh, and she was like, "Yeah, that would be great. I can I, you know, I called her up. I'd like to see if I could help you." She's like, "Yeah, that would be great." She had a she had a was it an auction coming up in like 6 weeks. So I went over, and she had taken out. I'm not sure what she was thinking, this woman, but she had taken the stuff out of the kitchen, and and she was now thinking of buying new things for the kitchen. And I was like, well, you know, hang on, let's talk about it before you go that route. What do you hope to accomplish with buying stuff for the kitchen? And she's like, well, then I'll be able to sell it. Um, And I was like, well, I can help you. I could buy it. I just can't. I'm just not gonna. Just can't pay, you know, a regular retail price. I'll do the fixing up, and and then and then I'll sell it if that's what you want. And she was really happy to do that because she didn't have money to buy a refrigerator and a stove, which was the minimum that you would need to sell to somebody. You know, otherwise, you can't even have a buyer come in the house pretty much because you can't get a loan without those things.
Sure.
So so she's like, well, you know, a realtor told me I could get uh, 620 for the house or so, and I had done a really minimal bit of research. I was like, ooh, well, I can't give you 625 because of a couple of reasons, but I could probably pay like 550 or 575. Um, and she said, okay. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe it that she said, okay. And I was sick scared because I still didn't know if I was even right. So somebody had, because she invited me over after I told you that phone call happened like this. I didn't even have a contract. I had to reach out to somebody like, hey, can somebody give me a contract? I'm on my way to an appointment. So I printed out this very simple 1-pager or 2-page thing, and I said, um, all right, here's our contract. I'm going to give you, I now, she said, okay, I'll take 575. If you'll pay 575, I'll take it. And I was like, okay, okay. So we filled out the paperwork, and I gave her a down payment, $1,000 down payment, a check. And I was like, listen, um, don't cash this check yet. I don't have any money in that account. I'll have it in there next week or so. So she was okay with that, and I went about. Now I had it under contract, and I had 6 weeks before her auction date, and that's what I was really afraid of, messing that up for her. So I reached out to. I tried selling it to all the people that I knew personally, like that I'd met at meetups here and there, and nobody wanted it. And that was like 15 people. And I was like, did I pay is that too much of is that too high of a price? What I got started to really scared. And then I reached out. So I think we're both in sub 2. Are you a sub 2 member? So I reached out to somebody in sub 2, like, guys, I really need help. I have this under contract and I need to sell it. And somebody from sub 2 reached out and was like, I'm from New Jersey. I can help you. And we signed a JV agreement. And he so and now we started marketing. He was going to put it on Investor Lift and whatever. It was going to come out of his portion, and I was going to keep trying to sell it on my end. And so the seller calls me back and said, listen, I got a better offer. I'm gonna not do your deal. I was like, ooh, you can't do that. And I called this guy. She texted me. So I called this guy who helped me from sub 2. He's like, hang on, he took the contract and he brought it to his title company, and he right away filed a memorandum. So I called her back and I said, listen, I've been marketing this I've been spending a lot of time marketing this house for weeks now. And by the way, you can cash a $1,000 check. And I'm intent. I'm going to buy this house, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to get another buyer. And by the way, we filed a memorandum. And then, so we're still trying to find a buyer, and we're thinking about. So we were trying to sell the house at 650. We were trying to that spread 75 to 650, sure. 575 to 650. And no bites. And then I reached out to someone else in sub 2, a different group, a different person. I don't know if you know Tig. I was like, I need help moving this deal. And she helped me find a different New Jersey investor who said he wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
So then he sent somebody else over, and the person bought it at 650.
Nice.
That was it. So that guy and I split the commission or the assignment.
Yeah.
Girl wound up. There was plenty of time before the auction, or we got the auction postponed and then they closed. I forget. She was fine. It was never a problem. She was able to stay a couple extra weeks. I helped her move into her new place. She wound up being super grateful and was really happy that she didn't have to go out and buy the washer and dryer, buy the appliances, didn't have to have anybody through the house. She was really happy, and I made some money. I made her happy, and all these people also made money. The people that helped connect me to different people to help find that buyer. So that one was like, this is kind of cool. This wholesaling I would do this again. But I haven't. That was just so lucky that one came up. I haven't been able to recreate that magic again. So that's kind of where I'm at with the why I'm now at the lending stage, right? Because I think that's probably the best place for me.
Gotcha. And just for the audience, a memorandum, what it does is, I don't want to say it clouds title, but what it does is just shows that you have a stake in that property. So if the owner was trying to sell it behind them,
right,
it basically puts a stop to it because they have to clear that memorandum before they can sell to anybody else. So it forces the seller to come back to you to have a conversation to rectify the situation before it gets even worse and before you have to go to court and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a way to kind of keep people honest.
Right, exactly. So that's exactly right. I'm sorry. We did. I'm glad you made that little explanation for somebody. So and it's important, and it saved us because somebody was going to pay more money, and we did really start working on that, and I was able to post. Now that I think about it, because I was able to postpone the she was supposed to that contract that she and I had was enough to postpone the was enough
foreclosure
to postpone the auction. The thing
auction.
was,
Yeah.
it was still ongoing, but now it gave me and my buyer time to get the money together, and we wound up
Gotcha.
closing another 4 weeks later or so. But yeah, so she was grateful for that, and I was grateful she came back and didn't you know didn't continue that with that other buyer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
People have been listening to your journey going from rentals to fix flips to lending. If people wanted to like keep following you on your journey, or maybe want to reach out to you to see if they can partner with you, how would they do that?
Oh yeah, that's my name, Ali Fordyce. I'm on Facebook that way. That's an easy place to find me. Um, that's the easy place. Find me there. Um, yeah, anytime. I'd
Awesome.
love to talk. I love talking about real estate deals all the time. Really fun. And so anytime somebody wants to text me, well, find me there. We'll start with the DM and Facebook, and then we'll make it from there. Always happy to talk about it.
That's great. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ali, for coming and sharing your journey with us, your stories. I don't know how I would have handled the FBI calling me about my property, so I think you handled it pretty well. To the audience, thank you for spending this time with us and getting to know Ali and myself. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye,
Perfect.
everyone.
Thank you. See you, Jose. Bye, everybody.